This is one of those, you're trying to draw me off sides, and I'm probably going to go ahead and take the bait. Sweet home Alabama, where
nice.
the skies are so blue. And that's what we're singing as we enter. Let's call it episode number 166 of the Promo Upfront podcast. I am one of your hosts, Bill Petrie, but I'd like to introduce our other host. Let's call him, because he is the good doctor of promotional products, the one and only Kirby Hasseman. Kirby, how the hell are you today?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. It's been a really hectic week. In a good way, really. We've been busy, in the short week. But it's funny. This is one of those things we've talked about it before. That I was like, oh, cool. I get a chance to discuss whatever the hell we're going to discuss, and I always enjoy our podcast together. So this brightened my day, man. How are you?
Yeah, 100%. I was actually talking to somebody this morning and saying, you know what, I love doing the podcast with Kirby. It's kind of the beginning almost of my weekend. I see the end of the line. Not that
That's
I'm looking
fair.
forward to not that I'm like working for the weekend, as Loverboy might sing.
Yeah.
But it does signal the end of, okay, another successful week. And so as I was talking about that, Kirby, I know this will surprise you, but it got me to thinking. And I was thinking about how much that this podcast really does surprise and delight me still after so many years.
Yeah.
And so that got me to thinking, Kirby, when I think of marketing, though, that surprises and delights, I think of one thing and one thing only, and that's the Kanata Group. Why? I'm beyond glad you asked, silently, but I'm glad you asked. Number one, amazing towels and blankets. The quality, I'm telling you, is absolutely unmatched. Innovative footwear, from slides to clogs to custom flip flops that leave a brand impression everywhere. We've seen those flip flops that there's those sand advertisers. Those are so cool, that leave a logo in sand. Super fun sublimated home accessories like aprons and pot holders and pillows. And I love that sublimation process. It's so vivid, so bright, and so just wow. It always gets that wow and aha. That's so awesome. I love those things. And then the gorgeous packaging that turns merchandise into a gift. But that's not even the best part, Kirby.
Okay.
The best part might be the fact that Kanata is so cost effective, especially when you factor in how long people keep the merchandise Kanata creates. They truly have something for every budget. And that's super important as we march into the holiday season, isn't it, Kirby?
It is. And I loved what you said when you said surprise and delight. I during this time of year, I love the question. I think I first heard Bobby Lee say it, where it's like, what do you want the recipient to feel? And I think that, Kanata and, that style of product is one that surprises and delights and makes people feel special, which is the point of the exercise.
100%. Of course, Kirby, you are correct. And even more, something that we teased last week, Kanata is about to drop their long-anticipated coastal throw blanket in about a couple days. Yes. And if you haven't felt this luxurious softness of the coastal throw, if you haven't seen them at a booth at one of the trade shows, whoa. You're not only missing out, but you're doing your clients a complete disservice. To see this and many other amazing products from Kanata, head over to kanatapromo.com. And when it comes to promo, Kirby, Kanata does mean comfort, so don't ever forget that. All right, Kirby. So I want to thank you for having the courage of doing this podcast with me on this fall day. It's a beautiful day here in Franklin, Tennessee. High of 81.
Nice.
Awesome. Can't wait for that. But as I gave you a hard time a couple of weeks ago about the Promo Upfront gods gifting you a topic, I have finally been the recipient of that gift in the PPA Rising Star.
Let me open up my tab that I knew you were going to bring up.
That's right. Cool. Let me preface this by saying this is a list I can get behind.
Okay.
It's not ranked for no reason. I like that. I like that. That's my biggest thing about lists. I want to make that clear because I think I'm being unfairly slotted here about not liking lists. I don't like certain lists.
Okay, fair. So, go ahead.
That's my opinion there. So the PPA Rising Star list came out yesterday, which was Wednesday of this week. As always, it's one of the first things I look at. The second I see it come out, I kind of stop what I'm doing. I
Yeah.
go over there and take a look because I'm always very curious to see who might or might not be on it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so open it up, and what a great group of people. And again, I this is where I start feeling old, Kirby. I don't know some of them.
Yeah.
I know quite a few of them, but I don't know some. So let's just run down the list
Yeah. Go
if
for it.
you're okay with that. So Quinn Bowie from
Mm.
Niner Marketing. Quinn is a multi-line rep, and if you don't know Quinn, that guy is one of the most creative forces in terms of not only just how he shares content and how he works in the industry, but how he lives his life. He's living a van life with his wife, and they travel all over the place, and that's
Yeah.
where they live. It's kind of a
Super
neat
cool.
little, yeah, it's a really cool way to live. Emily Codner from I Promote You. Don't know Emily, but I look forward to
Mhm.
getting to know her. Micaiah Goodwin from Order My Gear. Katie Grimes from Red Promotions. Madeline Hardy from Whitestone Branding. Simi Kashkawi Welsh. I know Simi a little bit. I've met her a couple times at ASB events. She's from American Solutions for Business and does a really nice job hosting a little show with her and Larry Zavadil
Mm.
every week, every other week. And it's kind of a neat thing she's done in public relations. So really sharp person to get to know. Victoria Thomas from Bella Canvas, brilliant person there. Good friend of both of ours, Nadav Raviv from
Yep.
GBS. Katie Whitehead, Director of Marketing at Halo. Chelsea Williams from Spark Branded Solutions. Alex Pascal, the President of Warwick Marketing. And I'm sure
And
you're going to echo my
you missed
sentiments.
Catherine Peach. Just to
I did. No, and she's
so
on my
just
list from
yeah.
Promotional Source.
Yeah.
I
Just
did miss Catherine Peach.
yeah. Yep. Sorry. Just want to make
That is
sure.
the that is something Bill Peachtree shouldn't do, right? It's terrible. But I look at this list and I always think the future of this industry is in good hands. Anytime you recognize people who are on the rise.
Yeah.
You've been on the list. I have not. I was never on the list. It's always people always think I was on the list. I think there's a waning moon list that I'm on. But for the rising stars, first of all, congratulations to everybody. And
Yes.
it excites me about new ideas and new people coming into the industry. Kirby.
Yeah, so I think one of the things I love about this list, and I agree. You and I kind of debate, and I think so many times. By the way, I'm going to go off topic just for a second. You and I take on topics where we disagree with each other for the sport of this conversation, and I think sometimes,
Correct.
like, I'll never forget the first time that happened, where you and I did a salt and pepper, and people just threw out topics, and we automatically disagreed, and people would come up to me afterwards and say, "Hey, I really agreed with you." I'm like, I didn't, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so I
Some
agree.
people, yeah, some people play pickleball. You and I play argue ball.
That's right. So I do think sometimes people are on you about the list thing. But this one I do love for a bunch of different reasons. Exactly. One, because of what you just said. Like it shows the people who are doing good work in the industry
Yep.
that are, we need to recognize them and lift them up so that more people get to see it. And I love that. Number two, I
Right.
love that it's peers, right? Peers that are
Yeah.
nominated. There's no
Oh yeah.
cost to be a part of this. This is just, hey, this is someone I see doing good work. I think this is where PPAI is. This is awesome. This is an awesome
Yeah.
use of this platform because it's like, yeah, they're a rising star. You might not know that they're doing these cool things because they're not as well known yet, potentially. And so I love that it's peer nominated. And then, and I think I've said this before as well. I love the fact that I do know a couple of the folks that are on there, Nadav and
Yep.
Quinn. But I don't know several of these folks. And this is one of those lists that comes out and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a LinkedIn connection. I want to get connected to these rising stars. And so, as you said, congratulations. And also PPAI, love this one. Well done.
Yeah, it's something that should be done more often. I think it's one of the reasons you and I enjoy doing the two lists a year we do that are similar to this. We do the Powerhouse Women of Promo, and then sometime in the fall, we usually do our Mavericks in the promo industry. So there's no age limit on it. We do something where people we see shaking up the industry. I love putting together those lists. It's the most work we do as a podcast, but it's also the most rewarding because we get to recognize people and kind of shout from that mountaintop that, hey, there's people doing things that need to be recognized. And like you, I love the fact that PPAI absolutely does this. And it's a very good use of association
Yep.
resources.
Love it. Love this one. Yeah, this
All
is my
right.
favorite.
Yeah, Kirby, I have to pause the podcast just for a moment. I'm pretty amped up,
Yeah.
but I got to amp it up even more. Hey, distributors, is your marketing working? If not, then we've got something exciting to announce from our pals over at Promo Pulse. That's AMP Video. That's right. Create exciting and, more importantly, engage your clients on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram, Facebook Reels, and with branded product videos using content from your preferred suppliers. Be the first on your digital block, and we all have a digital block.
Right.
I think you more have a digital rhombus, Kirby, but if you have a digital block, then you need to start using those AMP videos. Be the first on your block to do it. The first 30 days are free. Head over to promopulse.io/AMP. I don't believe you'll be sorry you did.
I know this is a thing, but I just want to say that this is one of the most innovative things I think Jason has done at Promo Pulse. I think this is really, really cool. People should definitely check it out.
100%. All right, Kirby, do you have a topic for us to discuss on this podcast that people are listening to right now as they're listening to it?
Yes. So are we addicted to checking our email? Streaming services are betting yes. So I thought this was absolutely fascinating. I was reading a story. Actually, I think it was from the Marketing Brew. You've kind of turned me on to the Marketing Brew. I was talking about the Morning Brew. So the annual churn rate across streamers in the US 12 months in June averaged 47%. So nearly half the people starting a service are churning off the service. And part of the reason is because it's because there's more and more content, which is great. They're having more and more challenges. And we both know this as consumers. God, it's hard to find something to watch, right? Because there's more and more things coming through it. So rather than utilizing just like the algorithms and all these other things, essentially like Peacock is doing it and several of the other ones, they are sending emails to their free and paid tiers, 3 to 5 emails per week, depending on how actively they use the service, to kind of promote different shows. And they have said essentially what is happening is that they are having less of a churn rate. They're having more of an engagement rate because of these emails. They said in a 30-day period, a 6% higher upgrade rate for free users who move to the paid tier, and a 20% reduction in churn among paid subscribers. So I thought this was really interesting because one of the things we talk about all the time is like, well, email's dead and this isn't working. And I think it's fascinating to see a technology company that has all of these tools at its fingertips, that the way that they are affecting not only the user experience, but the math of their model is email, good old email. So are you surprised by this? And what are your overall thoughts on them emailing you as a consumer?
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all because I don't think I've ever said emails.
I don't think you've said it. I think other people have said it. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Email. What I will say is no. What I will say is email's not sexy, right? It's not new. It's not exciting, but I will tell you it's tried and true and proven if done effectively. That's the big key, if it's done effectively.
Right.
So I'm not surprised at the results. Here's what does surprise me. The fact I'd rather see well, I'm sure they're doing this well, but I'd like to see more intuitive menus. That's the problem. It is impossible unless you go alphabetically. And this is the problem. This is the dumbing down of our society. I can tell it, and maybe it's age, maybe it's my attention span because of just everything we're surrounded with. But I can't tell you how many times I'm running to the grocery store and I know what I'm going to get, and I get there and I don't remember. If it's not on a list, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Or I walk into a room like, why the hell did I come in here?
Right.
I feel like I'm one step away from having glasses on top of my head and screaming, where the hell are my glasses? And so I think our attention spans are so low now. What is it? 7% or 7 seconds, less than a goldfish. I think that the menu systems in all these platforms, they're terrible. Netflix is still the best one, and it's still pretty bad. But back to your question. No, it doesn't surprise me at all. I think we're all addicted. Here's the biggest problem. Here's what it's feeding into and what they're not saying in the article, in my opinion. The fact, and I don't know what the percentage is, except everybody watches TV now while they're on their phone.
Right.
very few times, and I've really been conscious about this a lot lately. I really try to physically either put my phone down, face down, and away from me so I don't see the screen light up, or I'll
Yeah.
leave it in another room to charge when I'm watching TV, because I want to be engaged in what I'm engaged in.
Yep.
And I think we've started to lose that, but they are tapping into the fact that people are engaged on their phones while they're half listening, half watching television now. That's
Yeah.
why these 8 episode series, if you watch them, if you just watch them, man, they could get through that in about 3.5 episodes.
Yeah.
But I think they stretch it out intentionally because of the scrolling. But no, then that's where the email goes right to your phone. So, oh, here's something to watch. I just got an email. Let's watch
Mhm.
that. So no, I think it's actually quite ingenious on their part.
Yeah. I was, so I'm kind of one of those people pro email. I think that there's still a ton of value
Yeah.
to it. It still drives
Oh
business.
yeah.
It's a little bit like people saying, "Oh, Facebook's dead." No, it's still the one driving the
No.
most. And so I am a proponent, but I was a little bit surprised at the documented statistics. Like a
Yeah.
20% decrease in churn rate for a company like Netflix is ginormous. That's like such a
Sure.
big number. And so while I'm not surprised it affected it. I was pleasantly surprised that tech companies were utilizing it. I was even surprised that at the rate that it affected it. So
Yeah.
I just thought it was fascinating.
But here, think about it this way, and I think this is why maybe we shouldn't be surprised. I understand what you're saying, but
Mhm.
here's I'm not pushing back even. It just
Mhm.
occurred to me as you were talking. I will have conversations throughout the day, just like you will, and someone might say, "Hey, are you watching The Bear?" That's
Mhm.
or Only Murders in the Building, or whatever is a good show
Yep.
people should watch. I'll think,
No
man,
and
I
no.
need to watch that. I've heard about that, and I'm excited about it for 7 seconds, and then I move on to something else.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if I have it documented in my email, oh yeah, I wanted to watch that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that absolutely does help recall. And
Oh, for
and
sure.
and I'll tell you, email's not dead. We one of the things that as Josh and I are building promocations
Mhm.
and trying to sell out the second promo cruise, which we pretty much have, our most effective tool, Kirby, was email.
Yeah,
It wasn't social, it was email. It was
right.
our email campaign and being consistent about it. So, like you said, just because it's old doesn't mean it's irrelevant. You have to know how to use it properly, just like Facebook or anything else. But it is effective, and I,
Yeah.
I love the stats. Those are some big stats.
I think, and maybe we've talked a little bit about brand marketing versus direct marketing in the past on here. This is something
Mm-hmm.
I talk about a lot. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I'm thinking of promocations as the example.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
I view the social media stuff you're doing, whether it's
Yeah.
videos or showing pictures
Yeah.
from the first cruise or all that stuff. It's like
Yeah.
I view that as brand marketing. And I
Right.
think the email becomes the direct marketing. And
one
the
Hundred
thing
percent.
is you do both. And if you do both,
You have to.
you have an effective marketing campaign. So anyway,
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Great stuff. It's push and pull
yeah,
at the right time. So
yeah.
great stuff, Kirby. That's a good topic. All right, Kirby. I was wandering through Entrepreneur Magazine the other day,
Okay, all right.
and came across this article. Ways content creators are revolutionizing marketing. Of course, it's some big blustery headline like
Mm-hmm.
everything else is these days. But I thought it was actually quite interesting, and I wanted to go over these three things with you. We'll go one by one. Let's talk about each one as we go. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
So what the article is talking about is how your brand, whether it's Hossman Marketing, Brand of A, whatever,
Right.
how it can emulate and benefit from the innovative marketing strategies used by today's really impactful and influential content creators. Number one, and I don't think we're going to disagree on any of them, but I think we can take these and apply them to our industry.
Okay.
Number one, be a trustworthy teacher. Freely sharing knowledge does two things. One, it feeds customer needs, and two, it harnesses the power of education as a growth tool. Um, I can comment. You can
Yeah,
comment. We
I
can
couldn't agree more.
simultaneously comment.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. I mean, I think it builds trust, it builds integrity,
Mm-hmm.
and the reality of it is that somewhere between 1% and 3% of people are right now in a window to buy
Yep.
your thing.
Yep.
It's part of that brand marketing strategy so that when they become a part of that 3%, they know who you are and they trust you and they're
Right.
quicker down the funnel. So yeah, agreed 100%.
Yeah, I agree too, 100%. And it's the analogy I always use when I say, when you produce content and you give away knowledge freely, which you do, I do, a lot of people in our industry do. You're showing people you're an expert without having to tell them. The analogy I always draw is when you're in high school, the person who told you they were cool, I guarantee you they were not cool. So when you tell people you're an expert, people are skeptical and there's no trust built. When you show people through consistency, through education, you do show that you're an expert, and that does build trust. And I think micro learning is really something we need to tap into. It's on the rise, especially with our attention spans. A quick 2-minute video, a quick 3-minute blog read. Those things do help people and elevate them. We still keep looking at education as this semester long, this year long, this
Yeah,
4-year long thing. And really, I think we're shifting to micro learning. I pick up a
totally.
little bit of knowledge here, a little bit of knowledge there, and I look at even what I do with barbecuing or with mixology. It's little things I've picked up along the way that has educated me in those areas. It's not one course I've taken.
Yeah,
It's micro learning. So
agreed.
I
And
do like
it's
that. All
learning
right.
that you wanted to do too. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Number 2, don't be afraid to be yourself. And that's really injecting your brand personality into it. So being authentic is effective and important to marketing. Even huge brands are operated by humans. So be human. And I think you and I would totally agree on that.
I'm in.
Yep. And creators have mastered that with viral memes
Yeah.
and things like that. And I think of the best one I can think of is Wendy's, what they do with their content creation, especially on X, formerly the artist formerly known as Twitter. That is a very large company,
Yeah.
and they have really humanized by being snarky and smarmy and funny as hell on
Yep.
Twitter.
And it's
X,
been
whatever.
intentional, but yeah, they've been consistent with that, which makes it feel authentic for sure.
Right. And the third one is kind of building up off the second one, is be human. Traditional marketing wouldn't traditionally feature your kids or your pets or things
Yeah.
like that. Most brands are taking the opposite approach, and this is only they take the opposite approach, and this is only exacerbated by the misuse. And we don't talk about this enough: the misuse of generative AI. AI is right now very easy to spot if you're
Yeah.
just copying and pasting. It's super easy. You and I have talked about using AI as a tool for ideation and things like that, but I'm talking about when people just generate AI and they just throw it out there. It's pretty easy to smell out. People really still do want to align with brands they can relate to on a human level, and I know you agree with that as well.
Yeah, that's something that I've been preaching for a while. And it's funny because I look at people and to make it to our industry. I don't love it. And again, I'm not calling anybody out, but if it's like,
Right.
hey, Bob Smith supplier name,
Yeah.
right? Like just be Bob Smith. Like people
Yes.
want to know you as the entirety of you. Like I'm and people are like, well, should I put personal stuff on my business? It's all a part of who you are, I think. And so I've been banging that drum for a long time, is be the best version of yourself and share all of that, because like the best, like, okay, I don't mean to make this the promotions thing, but this actually is a lesson that I was thinking about from that, is that when you guys made the decision to include spouses, like Josh Robbins, your partner, but also in Vault Promotion, does a great job of when he talks to me, he's like, well, so how's Amy doing? What's that renovation project? Because that's a part of the totality of who I am. And so when you know me at that level, you're more likely to sell me at that level. And so it's all a part of one thing. So I may have gone way off the rails there, but that's
No, I couldn't agree more. I learned this a million years ago from Grandpa Dana Zezo when he when he started being the social media guy. And he was the first, really. He was
Papa
joking
Z.
aside. Sorry, getting over a cold. The Dana was really the godfather of social media in our industry. It wasn't me, it wasn't Kirby, it wasn't Charity Gibson, it was Dana Zezo.
Yeah.
And one thing I remember asking him, and I was very adamant at the time of separating church and state. I have the professional social media stuff, and then I have the fun stuff. And he's like, "You're an idiot." Like, what? I got my attention, and he said, "You're blend them both together." And I don't remember exactly what his words were, but his message was, you need to just be you, be 100% you. And he was right. And it was one of those light bulb moments, and he was 100% right. And I've practiced that from that moment on. I know you have as well.
Yeah.
And part of me is that I do barbecue. Part of me, it is that I've got kids in college, and I go see them, and I get to go cook for them.
Yeah.
all those types of things. And part of it is I enjoy sitting in my backyard watching football on fall afternoon. So I mean, and part of it is I, work too,
Yeah,
and so I
exactly.
agree. I agree with you. It's, the more of your 360-degree pie you can share, the more people can relate to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But in the other good part of it is that feels negative at the moment. You're going to push some people away. Those aren't people you want to work with
Yeah.
anyway. I guarantee you.
Yeah, and real quick, I'll make this one quick, but the other piece
Yeah.
is I think when we do create content that helps people, the goal of doing personal development stuff, some of the stuff that I do, one of my fears is that I'm telling people how to live their life, and
Right.
that's not my goal. The goal is to say, here's how I do it. This is what has worked
Right.
for me. That is, and then sharing those things that haven't worked are sometimes the things that resonate the most.
I absolutely look. Yeah, I'm very open sharing my
Yeah,
failures and things like that. You don't have to do that. You can share case histories. You can share team members. Things
yeah.
like that humanize your brand as well. So good stuff there. Kirby, do you have a topic before we wrap it up? Or
Oh, you
do you
know
have a
what?
quick one?
This is going to be a really quick one, just because I thought it was funny. So
Okay.
a pilot of a Delta flight traveling from Atlanta to Barcelona had to turn around. Did you see this? Turn around the
Oh,
Airbus A350.
yeah, I smelled this article.
Yeah, that's right. 2 hours into the flight because a passenger, quote, had diarrhea all through the plane. So after transferring another plane in Atlanta, travelers arrived in Barcelona 8 hours behind schedule. So the original plane was wiped down and returned to use. So I don't really know what I want other than to get your reaction from this. I mean, are you planning on getting on a Delta flight anytime soon?
So here's the thing. Um, this is one of those you're trying to draw me off sides, and I'm probably going to go ahead and take the bait. First things first, there's nothing worse than traveling in a metal compressed tube when you've got number three, right? There's number one, there's number two, and then there's the dreaded number three, the diarrhea, which you referenced earlier. That plane is now a permanent biohazard. It's one thing if they were sitting on top of the plane and you could hose off the metal. There's carpeting, there's fabric. I'm sorry, that plane needs to be taken out of service. Don't tell me you wiped it down and it's in service 8 hours later. Okay. No, absolutely not. I will never, ever fly Delta Airlines again for this very reason. Is that the reaction you wanted, Kirby? Because darn it, you sure got it.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Hey, awkward transition time. Hey, let's talk about PPEF, the Promotional Products Education Foundation. First of all, scholarship are open. Go ahead and head over to ppef.us. The scholarships are open for applications early this year. And so Kirby and I are both trustees on the Promotional Products Education Foundation board. So please, please, please head over there. That's important to not only us as people, but also the industry. It does a great service. And we'll talk more about that as the fall goes along. But today we're launching our second annual Picks for Fun. That's right. We're going to do football picks for PPEF. All proceeds generated from our illicit gambling habits will be benefiting the scholarship fund for the Tomorrow Fund, I believe, for PPEF. So quick reminder, here's what we're going to do. For the next, I'd say 16, 17 weeks, basically until we feel like the college games have no meaning, we'll mix in some bowl games. But to the end of the NFL season, we're going to pick 6 games a week, 3 college, 3 pros, not against the spread, just who's going to win the game. That's it. We're very simplistic here.
Yeah.
So I have already provided Kirby with the games, and we are going to pick them now. Kirby, do you want to go? You want to run through these, or you want me to?
Oh, yeah, this is all you, brother. You pick the games. Okay. This is your game. You're a cheater. So yeah, let's do it.
How can I cheat? How can I possibly cheat?
You all right, so games.
I picked the games that felt interesting this week.
I'm messing with you.
It's still week 3 of college football, so there's not a lot of interesting matchups, but here are the ones that we came up with. All right, number 23, Texas A&M goes into Miami and plays the Hurricanes, who are unranked. Kirby, what say you?
I think I'm going to go the first time. First, by the way, this has made me more tense than than usual, because gosh, it's so early in the season. I don't know who is what and what the teams are. So the first time I am going to pick the Aggies.
Okay.
I mean, last year
Nothing
I
should
never
make
picked the Aggies.
No. Well, and honestly, nobody ever should. But let me back up real quick. Nothing should ever make you more tense than talking about diarrhea playing. Okay. All right. The Aggies, always the underperforming, disappointing Aggies. I am also picking the Aggies. Don't let me down, Connor Wegman, Jimmo Fisher. Don't do it. All right. We're both there. Ole Miss, the number 20th ranked Ole Miss, goes into the surprising Tulane, ranked 24th. This is a tough one to pick.
Honestly, you did a great job on these games, because I was like, these are tough to pick. I'm going to go Ole Miss. I trust the brand.
Okay. I am also going with the Rebels as well, the Ole Miss Rebels. It wouldn't shock me if the Green Wave won. Ole Miss reminds me a lot of Texas A&M. They always surprisingly disappoint me when I least expect it. All right. Easily the game of the weekend. I'm actually going to be there. I'm so fired up about this.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm going with my son. So this is University number 11th ranked University of Texas Longhorns versus the number 3 ranked Alabama in Tuscaloosa. We sold his student tickets, got a little money. We pooled money together and got tickets. So if you're going to watch the game, we are going to be one row behind the goalpost in one of the end zones. We got great seats. We're sitting with all the former University of Alabama players, so it's going to be a hell of a good time, regardless of who wins. But I want to know who's you think is winning this game, Kirby.
Yeah, this is a tough one to pick too, but I'm going to go like, this is one of those where I'm like, I trust Nick Saban and I trust playing at home. So I am going Alabama on this one.
Absolutely. 2 horns way down. Okay. I don't like either team. This is the only time I'll root for Alabama openly. And I want Texas to lose in a way that stings for generations. I want it to be a last minute, heartbreaking, burnt orange boo fest.
Okay.
That's what I want.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to the pros. All right, Kirby. Tonight, Thursday Night Football kicks off on your local Amazon Prime station. Detroit against Kansas City. That's going to be an interesting game.
It's going to be a really interesting game. No Travis Kelce, no Chris Jones on KC. Detroit is much better than I think people think.
Yep.
But they still have Patrick Mahomes. So I'm going Chiefs.
Well, with apologies to David Schultz, Jason Noakes, Mandy Rudd, and all the lovely people in Kansas City, I have fallen in love with Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. I am going Lions here. I don't think they're going to have Travis Kelce tonight. That has not been announced at the time we have watched. We've made our picks here. So I am going with Detroit.
Okay. All right. This is a tough one. These are good choices. Yeah.
All right. Miami, the Dolphins, march into Los Angeles to play the pesky Chargers, Kirby.
Oh man. This is probably my hardest pick. I've literally gone back and forth on this. I actually have Miami written down. I'm going to change my pick. I'm going to, because I didn't know where it was at. I'm going to go. I think the Chargers, this is their year to make their big leap. Herbert is really good. I like Miami as well. I'm going Chargers on this one. Whew.
Yeah.
I'm not confident.
Yeah. This is such a toss-up game. I'm changing my pick too. I had Chargers written down. Now I'm going with the Lions.
With the Lions,
with the Lions. I'm changing my. I'm sorry. The Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Dolphins, and I'll tell you why. I've seen the Kellen Moore offensive train in Dallas for a couple of years. Smart kid, but also very predictable play caller. And I somehow think Miami's going to find a way to do it on the road. And it is good for us to change. It's good for us to differ on a few of these.
Yeah.
All right, last one. Might be the game of the weekend.
Yeah. Buffalo
Bills march into the Meadowlands to play the New York Aaron Rodgerses.
Yeah. I think this is a great game. I can't wait to see this game. I'm excited to stop talking about the Jets and actually watch and see what they are. This is another coin flip for me. I'm going to go with the Jets.
Okay. I this is not a coin flip for me. I think is as much as I thought Hard Knocks did a nice job of making Aaron Rodgers a little more likable and a little more
Yeah.
relatable. Which we have these pictures of these celebrities and we think we know them, we don't. Really did a nice job humanizing him. I don't. They're the Jets. They're gonna find. They're like the Browns. They're gonna find a way to do something stupid like a butt fumble or a diarrhea plane. That should be a name of a play, by the way. Also, notice to Danny Rosen, Danny, that's a great band name, Diarrhea Plane. Please put that on your list. I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills, Kirby. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
All
All
right.
right, we've got our picks. They're locked. They cannot be changed. You'll have to tune in next week. And the stakes, we each put $100 up.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
the loser pays PPEF $100 to make
Yeah.
everybody a winner.
Yeah. And you're writing these down, right? Because I just threw my picks away.
Oh yeah, no, I write them down. I write them down. And in this weekend, so this weekend is 100%. It's a great weekend because it's the first real football weekend, right? So there's going to be a lot of surprise, certainly a lot of delight. And when you're thinking about surprise and delight in the promotional products industry, well, gosh darn it, there's no better place than our friends over at Canada. Whether it's the amazing towels and blankets and the quality they have there, the innovative footwear from Neat Feet, the super fun sublimated home accessories, they've got it all, and including some gorgeous packaging that turns any promotional product into a truly memorable gift. They create that surprise and delight in your clients, and these things are kept and used for years. And the best part, they're so cost effective, and they really, here we go, they blanket your brand with your clients. I trademarked that. Can't use it, but I'm going to allow you to use it. Anyway, head over to CanadaPromo.com. You're not going to be sorry you did, Kirby. I look forward to going to the Alabama game. Oh, quick collery on that. I wonder if anybody's still listening. Guess what I'm doing? The hotels are very expensive in Tuscaloosa. I'm staying at my son's fraternity house on Saturday night.
I can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, hopefully I survive. All right, kids. We'll see you next week.
That's right.